Give me a minute, and I want to respond to two critical pieces of Russian propaganda and disinformation that are beautifully summed up in just two comments from this troll, whose identity I have completely purged with the advice of some people on here on how to do that and make sure it's done right, so that I cannot be accused of harassment or bullying. You hear that, TikTok? Anonymous comments. The first one, can we be realistic now? As long as war goes on, more Ukrainians die, which is fucking true. Ukraine can't win against Russia, but we can make peace. Neither of which is true. Ukraine is winning every day, make no mistake about it. To deny that is to deny reality. We can make peace? No, you can't. No, you can't. The Budapest Memoranda, the Minsk Accords, Putin has wiped his ass with every piece of paper, every agreement, every treaty. That's not going to change. You give them a break now, they will simply rearm and come back. No. The only solution to this conflict is Russia's complete and total defeat at the hands of Ukraine and the reestablishment of the 1991 borders and Ukrainian sovereignty inside those borders. Period. End of discussion. And everybody in the West who's bitching that it's taking too long, God damn it, do what you said you would do. Enough with the hand wringing and the worrying about Russia because of this, point number 2 that our troll makes for us. Because when I say to him, no, you can't. You can't negotiate with terrorists. Russia must be completely defeated. They have left the world no choice. No choice. We did not do this. Russia did this. Remember the way the world laughed at Lavrov? Lavrov, I call him Lavrov, because the world laughs at him every time he opens his mouth. At the World Economic Summit in India, when he said, Ukraine attacked Russia, and everyone laughed, the world leaders laughed, because we all knew it was a pathetic joke. Lavrov. So he goes to this, right to the nuclear option, wondering how you can win against someone who has the most nuclear weapons in the world. I'll never forget sitting at home. Oh, it was before I came to Ukraine. So it had to be, well, it was probably not long after the war started. It was probably like March or April of 2022. The speech where Putin said, if the West interferes and helps Ukraine, I will use nukes, and I am not bluffing. I remember I fucking laughed out loud when I heard him say that, because I know no one that isn't bluffing says, I'm not bluffing. So as soon as he said that, I'm like, you bluffing motherfucker, right? You're bluffing. And he is. He is. Because he knows what will happen. Right now, it's just Russia and Ukraine, no matter what they try to tell their people, no matter what their propaganda says internally. He knows that the only people he's fighting is Ukraine. And they're kicking his 4th generation weapons ass with the shit NATO cleaned out of the garage. 30-year-old HIMARS, 30-year-old cluster munitions. It's a joke. I mean, it's a joke. Because the incompetence of the gangster mafia that rules Moscow is a joke. They're an incompetent band of brigands who depend on violence, blackmail, and force to get their way. They're not a nation of innovation. Did you see that video? The guy who bought a brand new Russian made car and he tears it apart, and every single nut in the car was made in China, except the driver, of course. So, look, Russia's nuclear weapons, are they a concern? Yeah, they're a concern. Of course, they're a concern. They got 6,000 of them. How many of them work is another story, but the fact is they're nukes, so you don't need many to work. The thing is, you can't use them to blackmail the world, and the world can't allow it. You let Russia win at all because of this, and it is a green light to the mullahs in Iran and the Kim regime that they can do the same. It'll be chaos. No, it can't be allowed. And Ukraine is doing all the heavy lifting. And for what? 5% of 1 year's Defense Department budget from the US? And Mike Johnson wants to slash the IRS to pay for Israeli aid? Get the fuck out of here, you myopic little prick. Disgusting. Disgusting. So guys, look. Ukraine can't negotiate with Russia because the Russian terrorists don't keep their word. Russia must be defeated because if they aren't, they're just going to keep it up. As far as their nuclear weapons go, we can't be afraid of that. Because if we're afraid of it, we'll have to be afraid of Iran, and we'll have to be afraid of North Korea too. And that's too much fear for me. I don't have room for that much fear in my life. The only fear I have for is the future of my son. And that means the defeat of Russia today.